Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to the biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And we've got one for you today. A man who is always a five-star act, especially in pantomime. This year, he's in Aladdin at Bristol Hippodrome. Through the 7th of January, I'm delighted to say that Joe joins us now. How are you?
I'm very good, Alex. As always, I'm living on the edge in pantomime. But this year, I'm living on the edge with Marti Pellow. And there's room for both of us on the edge because it's quite a large edge.
He is a sex symbol, and you are a sex symbol too. I mean, this must be very nice to bring the two of you together.
Well, you say that, but it's not. It's like he is a proper sex symbol, and as you know, I'm not really. I'm just in my own head. So, yeah, it works. Really works well with him because he's not the greatest person for ad-libbing, right? But he lets me do it, and I just run rings and rings and rings around him. And as long as I give him a cue line out, he loves it. He's brilliant. He reacts to it fantastically. And what's great about it, you think a pop star wouldn't have timing. He has the most impeccable timing, comedy timing, any actor I've ever worked with, and I said to him, are you a pop star? Are you a rock star? Are you a musician? Or are you a singer? And he just went, I'm a cowboy. That's what I am, boy. And he's a cowboy. That's what he is. He's a comedy cowboy. I love him. I love being on stage with him. I grew up listening to his music, even though I'm older than him. I don't know if that's allowed to say that. And I'm slightly in awe of him on stage, but it's great to work with him. And he has this great 1,000-yard stare. And sometimes I think, have I annoyed him or is he just in character? And we come off stage, he starts laughing, he's wetting his knickers at me. I haven't really upset him.
I saw him last year in Birmingham, and again, he's got that aura of a pop star, which you need. I mean, yeah. Panto's never been bigger, has it, in terms of the production and the stars that it gets?
Yeah, this year here in Bristol, they've pushed the boat out. We have some enormous set pieces, some great technology involved. We have this flying carpet, which is a bit of a nightmare, really, for me, because we sit on this carpet, and it goes out, flies out of the heads of the audience, and then it does a 360. I'm sitting on it, strapped down, like I'm in a rocket,
wow.
And it goes over everybody's head, because I'll just be sick on the front row. Now, I know they've got the 3D glasses on, but they don't want that.
Yes, that's not what you want on a Wednesday matinee, really, is it?
Imagine they go, well, the 3D was amazing, it actually was sick on me. Yeah.
These are the things, though, that the kids love the most. I mean, what I think is magical about Panto these days, especially that we've seen in Birmingham, Nottingham, Southampton, the places that you've done before, is that they aim it at the mums and dads that get one show and the kids get the visual spectacular. It's so important because it can be tortuous if it's just old-fashioned Panto and laborious sort of one-liners party gag after the next.
Yeah, this is anything but laborious. It's what's really good about this is it's less than an hour each half. It's about 54, 55 minutes each half. And kids nowadays, their attention span is very short because they all, come through the generation of the iPad and the iPhone. So to get them to react for that long, for an hour, and hold their imagination for that hour each half is a feat in itself. And it's very fast moving. It's like a roller coaster. Once I get on it, I'm never off the stage. I run round, back on, back on, back off. And the kids love it when you get out, and the adults love it because it's not a different show in the morning to the evening. It's exactly the same show. It's exactly the same performance, but the gags work on all different levels. So we don't take anything out for the kids. We don't add anything to the adults. It's just the show is what it is. It's its own animal.
I've said this before about you, and I'll say it again. You can't buy warmth and energy, and you have bucket loads of that. I wonder the toll it takes on you doing 2 shows a day, 6 days a week for weeks on end. It can't be easy.
No, it's not. But you have to. What I've found over the years is you have to find a place where you can actually pace it for 5, 6 weeks. How many shows are you doing? 70 shows in a few weeks. You have to find a place where you can perform at that level. It's no good burning out after 2 weeks. So after the first couple of days, I find a level where I can pitch it at that I know I can perform at that for that amount of weeks. Because as you know, people come and see the show, at the beginning of the run, or they come and see it at the end of the run. Regardless, it's the only time that they see it. They see it once, whether they've seen it the first night or the last night, and they pay the same money as they do on the first night as people do on the last night. So they deserve the same show 6 weeks in as they do on the first night. And so you have to find that energy somewhere. And I change it on a nightly basis. In fairness, I do that. I've given carte blanche to do whatever I like in the show, in script-wise. And as long as I give the other actors the right cue out, I muck about every single day, but within the confines of the story. I don't start talking about Donald Trump or anything like that. It's Aladdin. It is what it is.
We should talk about the fact as well that you are, in my view, up there in the top 3 people in Britain to do Panto in terms of what you bring to it. I mean, you have got a whole load of production bits from the toilet to, I'm not going to give too many bits away, but but you've got some extraordinary things that you do, and they get huge burly laughs. You can't at this point take them out, can you? There's no alternative.
No, I can't. I wouldn't want to take them out because, as you just said, they're set pieces that are built up for over the past 30 years, and nobody else has got this stuff. Who else has got a motorised toilet? Right? Nobody else has got one. You can't say, "Oh, I saw someone else do that." No, you haven't, because no one else has got one. I found it on eBay about 15 years ago. I paid a lot of money for it at the time, 15 years ago, and every few years I have to get new batteries for it. It's electric, right? It does 17 miles an hour. Imagine having a toilet that does 17 miles an hour. It's fantastic. And when the kids see me come out when there's a love song going on, me coming across the back of them on a toilet with a big cheese hat on, they work their knickers at it, and you can't write that. You just go, "Oh, it's Joe Pasquale on a toilet with a load of cheese on his head." There you go, while they're singing a love song. Marti's written all the original music. There's a couple of pop songs, but not his. He's written all the original music is great. It's that proper, wet sound. Is that voice that he's got, that gravelly voice that he's got. Yeah. The music is fantastic. It's really refreshing to not have a panto full of pop songs that everybody, that's that one again.
I don't want to be offensive to Marti, but there's only one voice I want to hear in that show, and that is you singing. You've got a delicious tone. Tell me, do we get to hear your greatest hits?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, don't worry about that.
You see, this is the ticket price alone. I don't need flying carpets. I don't need big dance numbers. I don't need an ensemble. Just you singing, I don't know, a bit of Barry White, something like that. Be marvellous.
You love that. Don't worry. If you come down, I'll do a special for you on the day.
Is it still thrilling for you? I mean, you've been doing it a long time, and you're a guaranteed hit. And let's face it, it is show business. If you didn't do the business at these big theatres, you wouldn't be had back. And last year in Southampton, it doesn't get much bigger than that. And Bristol Hippodrome this year is huge, isn't it?
Yes, I think 1,900 seats, and it's for a large room. It's a real intimate room to play for comedy. You'd think, that room they get lost comedy, little subtleties get lost, and they don't. For some reason or another, it's one of those. Well, the reason it works so well, once again, Frank Matcham, who designed all these old theatres, the old Matcham theatres, he knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what Matcham Theatre's like. It's down from the Grand in Blackpool to Wolverhampton Grand to where we are here at the Hippodrome. These are fantastic rooms for comedy, and the minute you get out there, it isn't like, when you do get a laugh, you don't go, "Oh, it's a bit of a laugh there." You actually see everybody rock from backwards to forwards, and it's a wonderful sight to see. But, especially in the school shows, we've got 1,900 kids sitting there squealing with laughter, and when the baddie comes out, when Abernaz, when Marti comes out, we have King Kong in this. Don't ask me how King Kong
makes an
appearance. Right?
King Kong.
We have King Kong, yep. We have a 25-foot gorilla come out at the top of the show, and to hear these kids screaming, and it's actually King Kong that sets Abernaz off to go and find the lamp. You see, that's what the story is. Don't ask me. It's called artistic license, Alex. All right. And that's what we have. 25-foot gorilla at the top of the show. Normally, we have all these namby-pamby dance routines. "Oh, welcome to the city." No, none of that here in Bristol. We scare the living poo out of the kids in the first 3 minutes. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
It's amazing.
Only you could bring a driving toilet and King Kong to Aladdin, the pantomime starring yourself and, of course, Marti, and Hayley as well. Tamaddon, a beautiful voice.
Hayley Tamaddon's in it, fantastic. Hayley's a great princess in it, and she never gets to sing a song all the way through because, she does, she tries to, but I'm always there to try and put the spoke in for it.
You can't have ego in panto, can you, really? Especially if you want to be the leading lady.
Yeah, not really, you can't. It's not allowed.
Do you get a Christmas? I mean, I do worry that you've done this for so long, and of course you're working Christmas Eve, you're working Boxing Day, New Year's Eve. Do you actually get to go home and see the family? Because you've got a huge family.
I've got loads of, they all live in a shoe, so it doesn't matter. So it's fine. Yeah, I actually get home Christmas Eve night, and I come back Christmas night because I have to wake up in the town that I'm working in because I'm petrified of waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, having to drive 200-300 miles in 6 inches of snow. So I always come back on Christmas night to make sure I'm back to the Boxing Day.
You take it incredibly seriously, and I think that's why you're so good at it. Aside from all the nonsense on stage, it's hard work and it's a discipline that you take incredibly seriously, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do have to. But the other thing is, though, Alex, as you know, people are paying good money for it. I think they deserve the best you can give them. And it sounds a bit old-fashioned, but it is. I'm not here because they pay me money. Obviously, I am. They pay me to do it, but I'm here because I love doing it. I love the response that it gets. And that's not just talking all because I'm on the radio. I love doing it, and they pay me, but I would do it. When I first started doing it, I didn't get paid when I first started doing it. I did it for the love of it, and I still do.
I've spoken to many stars of pantomime this year and in the years previous, and you are the best in the business. I've never seen anybody try harder, work harder, and congratulations on Aladdin. I'll come and see you in a couple of weeks at the Bristol Hippodrome, and then I go on holiday, and I've bought a book called Dead Knobs and Doomsticks. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I do, as it happens. It was written by me. No, I've been doing a course at the Open University, as you know, with geoscience, geology, and I did a couple of standalone modules, as they call them, on creative writing and advanced creative writing. I had to write a few short stories. I sent them to Colin Edmonds, who was a friend of mine, who's an author, and was Bob Buncash's head writer, as you know. Yeah. And to get his, he's done a few sci-fi books, Colin, so I wanted to know what his take on them was. And unbeknownst to me, he sent them to his publisher, who then contacted me and said, how many of these stories have you got? So I've got about 4 or 5. He said, you can get me about 13, 14 stories, and they're as good as these, I'll publish them. So that was it. And then I did the illustrations. Every story's got its own illustrations. And it's not for kids, it's a proper adult, scary book about short horror stories. So when you get on that plane, this will give you the willies, I guarantee it.
Again, aside from the comedy, I mean, that's almost the least important thing in your life at this point, with all the stuff you're doing that's aside from that. I mean, the drawing, the science stuff, being a captain of Virgin Atlantic, things like that. I mean, you've got it all going on.
Well, I just realised now mortality, Alex. I know one day I'll be dead. I know that's a huge driving force for me. I know that one day I won't be here. And I'll go, why didn't, on my deathbed, I'll be sitting there with everything's dropping off me. I go, why didn't I do that when I had the chance? And I've still got the chance. I'm still physically able to do all these things. My memory's still good. I can still learn scripts. So I'm still going to keep pushing and pushing. I'm still ambitious. I love what I do. I like talking to people. I like being around people. So I'm just going to take advantage of it and still do it.
There's a lot of people in Panto who fake it, who turn up, who try and do it, but you make it look effortless. I don't know how you do it twice a day for 6 days a week for weeks on end, but you can see Joe Pasquale at the Bristol Hippodrome in Aladdin with Marti, Pellow and Hayley Tamaddon until the 7th of January, and I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. Joe Pasquale, the biggest star in pantomime, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Alex. God bless. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, and Happy Titmas to you as well.